Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Pavan.
And I'm Adam.
And today we're watching Vinland Saga Season 1, Episode 7, called Normanni.
Do you think this is like what they call English? Like the Normans?
What they call English? Well, because we had a time skip.
We had a time skip. Thor's is becoming a little fighter.
Thorfinn.
That's what I meant.
Thor's is dead. He is 12 now.
Yeah.
Quite
Killing
the fighter.
people left, right, and center.
Scouting for Askeladd's army, or group of brigands. And
Betraying old women.
but he does have a conscience. Like, you could tell that he, or you don't think?
No, I do. I'm just surprised that you're giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Why?
Because you never do that. You're like,
actions are the only thing that matters, and he did the bad things, so it doesn't matter what he's
thinking.
No, he did do bad things, but he has a
Agreed.
conscience. You could tell that he was unwell about it.
How come you didn't give Askeladd the same?
Because Askeladd's an adult, grown male, and Thorfinn is a child.
Okay. Where's the cutoff for you?
I've had enough of this discussion. Thorfinn is terrible. He deserves to have the ship sink with him in it.
They're attacking the village, I believe. Things were burned last episode. I'm assuming they're going to continue with the raiding, but we'll see.
And how long are we going to stay in this time before there's another time skip?
It's a good question. I don't have a feel for that yet.
Yeah, me neither.
So,
But this is very intriguing. It's very interesting. My attention is captured every episode. So let's see what happens. Let's see what Thorfinn gets up to, if Askeladd can redeem himself even slightly in my graces. I'm going to say no for now. But here we go. Season 1, Episode 7 of Vinland Saga is coming right now.
そして10月、数年間にわたって継続された攻撃は転換点を迎える。
では、イングランドから兵を引かれると。引くのではない、休めるのだ。冬の高温が兵力を放棄する。派兵した軍にも兵器を養わせよ。仰せの通りに。夏だ。来年の夏には大攻勢をかける。いよも兵を率いて陣頭に立つ。
this guy's dead.
いきなり休みか。国に帰りてえよ。海賊連中も当分用なしだな。
今年も稼げると思ったのによ。正規の兵が動かねえんじゃな。これだから雇われ仕事はな。どうするつもりだ、アシュラッドは。
アシュラッド、このまま冬を越すのはちと寂しくねえか。めぼしい村は平らげちまったしよ。
だよな。
どうするつもりだ。
どうするもこうするも渡り鳥と一緒さ。餌のあるところに移動するだけよ。
So is that where the food is? France?
No idea.
Oof.
ラムだ！石見兵集まれ！2体交互で正射だ！構え！
Crossbow. Yikes.
ダメだ！引け！
It's crazy that this is what it used to be like.
Barbaric.
フランク人同士の小競り合いか。砦側は少数。
怒号の本拠地ってとこか。どうだ、お宝の匂いがプンプンしねえか。
おお、これが狙いってわけか。やるか、アシュラッド。
攻め手につくぞ。宝箱をぶっ壊して中身をこっそりいただこう。よっしゃ、こんなど田舎でどうするつもりかと思ったけど、さすがアシュラッドだぜ。やっぱ狩猟の読みは間違いねえ。イングランドで稼げなかった分取り戻す。そんじゃトロフィー出番だよ。参戦だ。
Okay, so it's 10:12. So when the show started, it was 10:02. Is that correct? Okay, my understanding is when Thor's was still fighting, it was 987. Ilva was a baby, and then it jumped 15 years, and Thorfinn was 6.
Okay.
So it'd be 10:02, and then it's 10:12. So is he 16 now?
Probably around that.
Okay.
Somebody tell us. We're not, at least not a decade off this time.
Give me some of the history that you know.
I know generalities of history. I can't peg dates with things that happened, but
So why did they jump to France? Did I miss something? So the Danes decided to pull out of England.
No, I think they're staying for the winter.
Okay.
So this is what I understood. The Danes are in England. They are wintering there to recover, and they're going to full-on attack come spring or summer.
Okay.
Trying to take territory. Which means since they're not attacking, there's no jobs for the
Mercenaries.
Mercenaries. Because
Is that what they
they
are?
generally work in conjunction with. Like the mercenaries aren't big enough to take on forces without like a distraction or to be
Okay.
a hindrance.
So the mercenaries are legit working for the king, or they are just opportunistic, sliding in there to steal and raid stuff when everybody's distracted.
Like they all are crossing the sea and fighting. So the Danish seem more organized. They're probably getting directions of like where they should go, but then they're kind of on their own, is what I understand.
So do they have to share the loot?
I'm guessing they are raiding villages that the Danes aren't attacking to draw troops out. So they probably take all their loot. That's their payment. You go to that village, you raid, you take whatever you want. And then the Danes are systematically trying to gain territory and a foothold.
And so why did they jump to France?
So
And who was fighting the French? The English?
No, the French fighting the French. So what I think happened is Escalade, knowing that he was not going to be able to raid in England, I think they sailed to France.
Got it.
They're going to winter there where the food is. So he was migrating with the birds.
AKA the money.
So they're going to take this fort and spend the winter there and then probably head back to England to raid in the summer. That's my understanding of what's going on.
Perfect.
Now, I'm very curious, if you saw that fort, it was totally open to the water.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if they're going to get on their ships and just land beachside and negate the wall.
Attack from the back.
That's what I would do.
参戦だ。
So Normandy, I'm
全ての
guessing.
親分に渡りをつけといて。工場はこうだ。貴殿の戦は下手だ。見るに耐えん。よって我が兵団お助け申す。千載一遇渡りに船。必ずや何らを勝利へ導くであろう。砦が落ちた暁には戦利品の
They're gonna kill everybody.
明朝再び突撃されよ。伝えたら奴らの兵に残って状況を見張れ。分かったら行け。あ？どうした？行けよトロフィー。
これ
までにどれだけ殺したと思ってる。石膏にも出たし、しんがりも務めた。手柄は十分に立てた。なのにてめえは。
なんだよ、褒美が欲しいのか。交渉成立なら金貨3枚くれてやるよ。ティールシンに誓ってね。
ざけんな。いつまで逃げ回ってるつもりだ。
おお、怖い。からかっただけだって。だがな、それなら兜首の一つくらい取ってこなきゃならんだろうぜ。
相変わらずだね。でもいいのか。
Naruto run.
大事な交渉を任せちまって。
劣勢の兵は気が立ってる。交渉の前に殺されるなんざよくある話さ。拾ったガキなら惜しくはないだろう。
Yeah, you say that, but you know that he's worth something to you.
They're not gonna kill a kid.
Is he considered a kid anymore?
わっぱ、ガキの来るところじゃねえぞ。
I guess so.
軍師だ。ノルド語を話せるやつはいるか。
なんだこのガキ。何語だ。
フランク人じゃねえな。
砦のやつらのスパイか。
ま、捕らえとけ。俺は軍師だ。ノルド語を話せるやつはいるか。
戦利品の半分をよこせだと。傭兵不正が図に乗るよって。
戦利品の半分をよこせだと。
大した自信だな。ノルマンに
I guess so fat.
ノルマンニ、イングランドを荒らし回っている北の民か。
イングランドを荒らし回っている北の民か。
小僧でもわかる。正門ばかり攻めても兵が死ぬだけだ。湖の防備は薄い。俺たちはそこを叩く。
朝知恵だな。湖に至る川は登るにつれ勾配がきつくなる。天津さえ滝もあるのだ。我々の船も下流で往生しておる。湖から攻撃せぬのはそういうことだ。
湖から攻撃せぬのはそういうことだ。
断るかこの話。
この話。
ならばアシュラットの兵100人は砦側と手を結ぶ。俺が死んだ場合も同じだ。商談成立の合図がない場合、北海の猛者100人がお前の敵になる。
よかろう。
閣下。
だが貴様の言葉が偽りであればその首を切り落とす。誠であればイエス・キリストの名においてパンを等しく分かち合おう。
パンを等しく分かち合おう。
俺の探検を返してくれ。親父の形見なんだ。
Is this how it actually worked?
Oh yeah.
And what, people could speak multiple languages back then?
There was probably one person who spoke Norse, probably defected and went from there. But what's going to happen is they're going to attack the wall. Askeladd is going to wait for the enemy to be on the wall defending. They're going to sneak in the back, kill everybody, and then kill the attacking force and split the treasure with absolutely nobody.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like a good plan if you're a pirate.
It's a great plan if you're a pirate or a Viking.
But if he's asking if people speak Norse, then they're Norwegian.
I don't think so.
Okay.
急ぐぜ。月が昇りきる前に峠を越えるぞ。ずっと船の護衛かよ。俺も戦いてえな。くそ、あのデブ将軍め。
あそこか。
Little portage with a Viking ship. Come on. That's wild.
竜が
This guy is disgusting.
竜が山を登ったじゃと。
はい、昨夜船の守備兵全員が見たとの報告が。
ほ
強調ですかか。
う。わしも一度見てみたいもんじゃ。小僧、貴様の仲間コヌではないか。
わしも一度見てみたいもんじゃ。
もう日が昇ってしまったぞ。
もう日が昇ってしまったぞ。
いいから突撃しろってブ。すぐにわかる。
今なんか悪口言った。どうやら貴様の首は今宵の余興になりそうだな。全身用意。
全身用意。全身。突撃。
Rocks.
いかん、始まっちまった。出遅れたぞ、野郎ども。気合を入れろ。戦場が待ってるぜ。
Was it burning oil?
Yeah.
Hot oil.
西側にもはしごをかけろ。規制をいとうな。
おい、敵の大将はドイツだ。
ああ、羽飾りのついた兜が見えるだろう。あいつだ。
兜首。
もう貴様、やはり嘘か。殺せ。小僧を殺せ。おーのれ。小僧は逃がすは砦は落ちだ。どうなってるんじゃこの軍は。雪が降れば帰れると思うとんじゃろ。そうはいかんぞ。砦が落ちるまでは絶対に。
I cannot believe that this stuff happens. I mean, it's still technically happening, just more sophisticated. That is the most intense portage ever.
Wild. Let me tell you, portaging is no joke.
Speed of light, baby. Hiya. Question.
Hit me.
Were guns being developed around this time in China?
I'm not sure. It's possible.
Somebody tell me. I feel like in my history learnings, it's around this time that the Chinese created gunpowder. I know somebody out there knows.
But definitely somebody knows.
When did they make their way to the Vikings? Or did they never need guns because they were just so intense?
I think probably they were not attacking in Viking style once the guns arrived. Would be my guess.
What do you mean?
Well, I think the British ended up building very large navies and controlling the oceans before that happened.
Before the guns made their way west?
Yeah, I think so. I'm shocked they're using their boats for cover.
Is that what it is? Like, why are they running with those boats? It seems ridiculous.
Unless they're going to take them and put them in the water around the fort and then attack.
We're going to circumnavigate the fort while portaging our massive boats.
I figured they were going to try and portage the boats like onto the lake and then attack.
Well, he said that the lake was not navigable.
Because of the waterfall, but I figured when we saw the boat going up,
and it got very steep and aggressive downstream or upstream.
Oh,
Are they actually running their boats around the fort so they can jump in the lake?
I don't know. But without a topographical map, I guess we don't know. We'll see how the attack goes up. But that jump by Thorfinn to... What?
Thorfinn.
To stab, that's so sick. He's going to climb the wall now and go after that guy. He's reckless. But
he is reckless.
That was pretty epic. And I love the portrayal of the royalty.
He's such a satirical character.
Yeah.
And his teeth are so big and his mouth is like, he looks like one of the flappy heads from South Park. The flappy head Canadians? Do you know who I'm talking about?
I know who you're talking about.
You're kidding me. How did they make it around, running around with nobody stopping them?
They probably ran outside of bow distance.
一番乗りは倍の分け前だ。やい入れろ。
そうか。あれは友軍じゃ。全軍進め。取り出ようとするのだ。
担いで峠越えをするとは。
Yeah, me neither.
うろたえるな。右翼の80人はふらつき場へ行け。石みたい。来い。お粗末だぜ。湖側は防壁どころか絶好の浅瀬なんだもんよ。よし、ぶっ込むぞ。なんだ？この距離で盾を貫きやがった。ウーロンがやられたぞ。足なんだ。石弓か。多少損害が出るな。今なら格好の的だ。上陸される前にできるだけ。子供。あれ？攻撃がやんだ。矢が切れたのかな。上陸用意だ野郎ども。
He knows.
No.
I'm sorry, you guys.
No, he lost the head.
Were these people trained in battle at all? These men are monsters.
Yes.
門の方は大丈夫なのかねこいつら。ちゃちゃっとやれよ野郎ども。
Can you imagine getting a battering ram to the stomach?
No. You'll get nothing.
なんて奴らだ。ノルマンニー。
Normandy must refer to, like, the Vikings.
Okay, they were like 3 times the size of everybody else.
I mean, that's obviously not realistic, but they were bigger and stronger than the average soldier.
Okay, so people have obviously grown over the centuries. People as a whole.
Yeah.
How big do you think the Vikings were?
They were probably over 6 feet.
You think?
Yes. They were all...
Which is massive for back then.
Yes.
You really think they were over 6 feet tall?
Yeah, you're cherry picking the biggest and the best, and I bet you that is accurate.
That's amazing.
The Scandic countries are pretty tall in general, even by today's standards. But you said something interesting, and I know it's...
What did I say?
Exaggerate. Well, you're like, are these guys not trained at all?
Well, I'm sorry. You've got a kid. You guys have swords. You are letting a kid with daggers get so close to you that he's chopping your head off? And not even like one of you. A dozen of you.
if you played university beach volleyball players when you were at your peak, one at a time, over and over, do you think any of them would get close?
No. But I wasn't playing with a dagger and them playing with swords.
But it's irrelevant what weapon they're using. You still have to close the distance. I'm not saying he could kill 15 guys, but I'm saying...
Literally, if you're in a panic, literally swing your sword around and it'll keep them at a distance.
No, you're sounding foolish.
I'm thinking about boxing when the big person can just put their hand out and like keep the other person at bay, you know? That doesn't apply here.
You slide inside the guard of the sword and that guy's toast.
My other question is, do you think Thorfinn would even be considered a kid in this period? I feel like a 16-year-old in the 11th century is not considered a child.
Yeah, but comparatively, if you see him walk up when you're expecting a soldier, you'd be like, he looks like a kid. But think about what you saw the other guys look like coming into the fort and then how he looks. No scars, pretty boy.
Oh, is he
smaller
pretty
stature?
Boy? Adam has set the standard of beauty in Vinland Saga. You think he's a pretty boy?
Compared to the other guys he's rowing with? I
haven't thought about it.
We all know Sarah's beauty standards are like, if you're not a 10 out of 10, you're ugly.
I haven't thought about it. I'm thinking about other things. It's not like Kuro's on screen where I can't focus.
You're an
idiot.
idiot.
For real. Also, is he riding a donkey or a horse? Also, who took care of that guy's eye? Because I feel like infection could set in.
連中は峠を越えてきた。帰りも船を担いで行くだろう。そこを叩く。陸に上がった船乗りなどは赤子どうぞ。
Bad idea. I don't like that I can see his taste buds.
They're not leaving.
なんだ、モーセ。
お松子が。
は？わしの宝は？
有力者の家や教会も荒らされております。金目のものは何もかも。
そう。
フランク人の長に申し上げる。戦利品の半分として貴殿は勝利を、我らは財宝を。文句はあるまいな。これでも謙虚な方だと思うぜ。砦はくれてやるんだからな。いいか、奴ら滝を下る気だ。船を出せ。それが砦にあった船は全て壊されてしまいましたよ。
Meanwhile, you were gonna kill them.
フランク語はわからんな。さてと、おいとまするか。トルフィンがまだだぜ。あら、ほんと。ま、どうせ死んでる。分け前増えてよかったじゃん。
You probably weren't gonna give him any anyway. But now you have to.
生きてたのか。しぶといガキだな。怪我はねえか。
アシュラット大将首だ。
へえ、取ったのか。
What does it look like?
約束だ。嫌とは言わせねえ。アイスランドの戦士、トールスの子、トルフィン。我が父の剣にかけて、アシュラットに決闘を申し込む。貴君は我が父の仇であるがゆえに。
おいおい、こんな時もだよ。よくやるな。ウォラフの子、アシュラッド。我が祖アルトリウスの名にかけて、トルフィンの挑戦を受けよう。が、後にしてくれ。今こっから逃げるぜ。こげ、野郎ども。おい、グズグズしてると顔を押さえられるぞ。
てめえ、ふざけんな。
Are they gonna ride the waterfall down?
I don't know, what are they gonna plop down?
You better be scared. guess it's not that big of a waterfall. Weren't there 3 boats?
I thought so. How convenient that Askeladd managed to push off the duel for another day.
He knows it's coming though.
And I think he knows that he might be in trouble.
I don't think he's worried.
Really?
No, because he's also very skilled and his weapon is longer. So this is where...
See, this is what...
But you have to know how to use it.
You do. What other show did
In
that
this
come
case,
up in?
size matters.
Was that this one that we talked about? No, Levi. No.
I do find it interesting. So the crossbow must be relatively new invention because he wasn't expecting them to have him going back to the attack. So that was interesting. He's like, nah, we're gonna lose some guys. So that kind of gives you an idea of the warfare technology, I think, of the time.
Thorfinn. We thought he drank the Kool-Aid. He's been holding on to that for a decade.
That anger is real. Simmering. That's a grudge.
Do you think that he will keep getting put off for a while?
I don't think Askeladd can keep putting him off indefinitely without losing face with his men.
How do you think this is going to go? And also, what do they do with the treasure? Like, they're always hanging out together. What are they going to go... They just steal everything. It's not like they're going to walk up to a village and be like, can I pay for these beers with this crown?
No, but they would go back to their villages, and then like a Leaf who's a trader, who they respect, they would trade gold and things for food, for fur, that kind of stuff. Don't kid yourself. Askeladd knows Thorfinn. Thorfinn is an asset to his team.
He doesn't want to admit it though.
No.
And he keeps acting like, no, he's probably dead, it's fine. It's like, you rely on him way more than to be so cavalier about his whereabouts.
I think Askeladd is going to win and not kill him.
Because he needs him. And he's going to be like an indentured servant.
Well, it's like, no, you need to know your place. That's kind of what I see happening here.
So, Thorfinn's name is Thorfinn Thorson. And Askeladd's name is Askeladd, what was it, Olafsson?
Mm-hmm.
I love how they do names. Okay, I like the history of this.
I do too. I really like that episode. I'm totally into it.
I just generally love the history. I find this period so fascinating.
I agree. You talk about dying of infection from an eye injury, kings sending men to just be skewered by arrows and not killed. Like it's ruthless. Like it's fascinating that that's the history. But if you think about being in that period,
it's unhygienic. It is unhygienic to the max. And I can't believe like people were living like that. But like I worry about that guy who lost an eye. Who patched him up?
Yeah, it's interesting to think back about these times. I think it would be probably a really tough and mostly miserable existence. I think there's probably a bunch of us who romanticize like being a warrior, living in a castle, and doing those kind of things. Yeah, infection due to eye injury. Death by infection would be tough.
Death by hot oil being thrown over a parapet would also be tough. The history is like the meat of it for me, and like I like seeing that, and then seeing how the rest progresses is also...
Well, the characters that they weave in, the different ways that you look at, not nobility, but the leader and the integrity and how they do that with, you know, Thor's being the example, and from there, I don't know, the whole thing has just been, I've been drawn in right from the beginning. I've really enjoyed it.
So let's see what happens, where it goes from here. Let us know what you're thinking in the comments below. And as always, we'd be so excited if you would like this video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for more Vinland Saga coming next week. Bye.